my prediction. The people that do exactly what you guys say, and Daniel, they're going to get better. I believe that in all my heart. I love what you're doing. The challenge is going to be getting them to do it and to step up and do the work. And that's going to be a fun challenge for you. And I just applaud you and Daniel for both, number one, having the courage to do this, which a lot of people don't. And number two, measuring it to show that it actually works. It's not just a popularity contest. So again, Martin, big round of applause for these two.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely. Now, do you know what? I think it's time for the BCG Minute. And we actually asked Amy Edmondson, an American scholar of leadership, teaming, and organizational learning, professor of leadership at Harvard Business School, and author of 7 books and more than 75 articles, among others, best-selling The Psychological Safety Book. We asked her to run today's BCG Minute. Should we run that?
I have found that the wisest CEOs understand that their biggest concern is that they might not know what's really going on. And so the question becomes, do you know what's really going on? And how concerned are you about it? And do you know who might be afraid of you? Because if the answer to that third question, do you know who might be afraid of you, is no, I think you have some work to do.
If we talk about a hero of mine, she definitely is one of them. Then once you're thinking about this, do these business leaders out there at all, are they able to answer that question today?
Well, I don't know if anyone knows who's afraid of them. That's a very profound question. However, I will say this, and Marshall, I'd be interested in your thoughts on it. I've been involved with it. I've stayed out of consulting and coaching most of my career. I just started something called the Goldman Consulting Group, which is actually, I think, turbocharging what you're doing, Marshall, because our outlook is that you can coach at the top of the house, but the cost benefit isn't the same throughout. But as Sharon is telling us, you need a culture that supports this. How do you spread it? And we've looked at companies do it well. And we're finding that, for example, if you can get the people on the C-suite or getting coaching, for example, to become leaders of groups that are helping people become more emotionally intelligent using your model, using our model. Oh, that shouldn't happen.
We've lost a guest, just so you know.
Yeah. So can I pick up?
Sure.
Yeah, of course you can pick up. Marshall, just answer the question, then try to, because
I think Daniel wasn't finished. Let him finish his.
Oh, you want to finish? I thought that you wanted to pick up the phone.
No. So I think that if these groups, for example, implement your model, we have a model, Sharon mentioned, you have to re-practice. This is not the same as learning in school. This is building a skill. It's like working on your golf stroke. You have to keep practicing every day. Marshall, you need that feedback from people who see you every day. And as Sharon says, you want to feed forward. You want to accept the feedback as news to use. But we see the potential for doing this in groups much lower in the organization to spread the emotional intelligence into the culture. I think that's really important and completely complementary to what you're doing, Marshall.
I completely agree with you. I completely agree. And again, there's a million things in life that are important that I'm not doing. And that's one of the millions of things in life that are important I'm certainly not doing. I have trouble enough just working with one person at a time and trying to help them do a few things better. So that's kind of the limit of my skills here. On the other hand, I love what you guys are doing. I love the organizational impact. I love the idea of working together as a team. And I love this idea of spreading the word. And again, back to Sharon's good point, I love measurement. Because if you don't measure things, how do you actually know it does any good? That's one thing I always like about stakeholder coaching. You measure things. And I just love the idea of measurement. And most people don't have the courage to do it. So again, I'm really applauding you and your leadership, because you're not doing this by yourself. If you didn't have some support, you couldn't do this. A lot of HR people believe like you do, and they don't have the support to make it happen. So some people aren't on this call also need a little round of applause. You're going to have some support from some executives in your company helping you do this stuff. So Daniel and Sharon, I love what you're doing. I think it's totally complimentary. And I think it works at all levels. I don't think there's a level it doesn't work. I mean, I'll tell you one thing I find ridiculous. Sometimes I work with executive teams, they'll say something like this: do you have a toned down version for the lower level employees? I hate that. Go, come on, get a break, right? A toned down version. Who are you, right? Yeah, maybe we need a toned up version for people who don't make idiot comments like that. So I really believe people are people. And the best of my knowledge, most of those people, quote, at the lower levels, their IQs are just about as high as the ones at the, quote, higher levels. They're just a little younger.
I'd
You're
agree.
so right about this. Listen, I think it's time to do the mural summary. And this time we're going to do it differently because Dan is going to do it instead of me. And I'm going to go down to the beach and have a cocktail while he's doing the work. So let's run the mural summary.
I want you to know that there are 4 parts to emotional intelligence. The first is self-awareness, knowing what you're feeling, how it matters for what you're thinking, what you're about to do, what your values are. That's the basis for the next part of emotional intelligence, self-management, using that information to be emotionally balanced. Emotions are contagious. You, as a leader, you want to be in your best state. You want to be positive. You want to keep your eye on your goals. You want to be adaptable. And self-management helps you do that. The next part has to do with tuning into the other person, empathy, being able to read emotions without a person telling you in words what they're feeling. People don't do that. You have to pick it up. And if you put those 3 things together, you can have beautiful relationship management. You can have interactions that are powerful. You can lead people. You can inspire them. You can influence them. You can be a fantastic team player on your own team. And you can be the kind of leader who understands that coaching their direct reports, coaching the people they lead is part of leadership.